Have you ever felt her slipping through your fingers the harder you held on? One moment she's engaged, smiling, present. The next she's distant, cold, unreachable. And you're left replaying every conversation, analyzing every text, wondering where it all went wrong. You check your phone obsessively. Read her last message for the 100th time. Search for clues in the emojis she used. 3 dots appear, then vanish. Your heart drops. What changed? Was it something you said during lunch? That joke that landed wrong? Maybe you texted too soon. Or waited too long. Perhaps you came on too strong when you suggested meeting again. Or maybe you didn't show enough interest. The mental torture never ends. You ask your friends. They say give her space. You read articles online. They say be more persistent. You're getting opposite advice from every direction, and meanwhile she's getting further away with each passing hour. Here's what nobody tells you. The problem wasn't in your words. It wasn't in your timing. It wasn't even in your approach. The problem was invisible. And that's why it's so dangerous. Women don't just listen to what you say. They're tuned into frequencies you didn't even know you were broadcasting. While you're carefully choosing your words, editing that text for the 5th time, she's reading the transmission beneath them. And that transmission? It's screaming one thing. Please validate me. She hears it louder than anything coming out of your mouth. Every carefully crafted message. Every planned spontaneous encounter. Every attempt to seem casual while your heart's racing. She feels all of it. You think you're being thoughtful when you text first every morning. Caring when you plan those elaborate dates. Dependable when you drop everything to see her. Strong when you pursue despite her pulling back. But she's not feeling thoughtfulness. She's feeling something else entirely. Desperation wearing a gentleman's mask. And it repels her on a level she can't even explain to you. If you asked her why she lost interest, she couldn't tell you. She'd say something vague like, the spark faded, or, I just don't feel it anymore. Because she doesn't understand it herself. Her conscious mind sees a great guy doing everything right. But her body, her instincts, her deepest biological programming is sensing something completely different. The cruel irony? Everything you were taught about winning her over is precisely what's driving her away. Every, good morning beautiful, text before she's even thought about you. Every immediate response that shows you were waiting by your phone. Every availability that proves you rearranged your life around her schedule. Every sincere compliment that sounds like you're building a case for why she should choose you. Each one confirms to her subconscious that you don't believe you're already worthy. You're trying to earn something you think you lack. Campaigning for a position you assume isn't already yours. Auditioning for a role instead of already being cast. And if you don't believe you're enough, why should she? That's the real reason she pulled away. Not because of what you did. Because of what she felt. And what she felt was your need radiating from every interaction like heat from a desperate flame. The energy never lies. Watch what happens when you enter a room desperate to be liked. Your eyes dart around, scanning faces for approval. You smile a little too wide at whoever makes eye contact. Laugh a little too quick at jokes that aren't funny. Agree a little too easily with opinions you don't hold. Your body betrays you every time. Shoulders slightly hunched, leaning forward, seeking validation like a plant bending towards sunlight. Your voice goes up at the end of statements, turning certainty into questions. You fill every silence because quiet feels like failure. And everyone in that room feels it. Especially her. They can't name what they're sensing, but they know something's off. There's a subtle discomfort in your presence. Not because you're doing anything wrong. Because your energy is flowing in the wrong direction. Outward. Away from you. Seeking completion in their reactions. Now picture someone completely different walking into that same room. He doesn't scan for approval. Doesn't perform. His eyes meet yours with calm acknowledgement, then move on without needing a response. He finds a spot and settles into it like he belongs there. Because in his reality he does. No excess movement. No fishing for laughs. No neediness disguised as friendliness. His energy doesn't leak outward. It radiates from a contained center. And people unconsciously turn toward him without understanding why. They want to be near that calm. That certainty. That completeness. This is the physics of attraction nobody explains. Energy always moves from high pressure to low pressure, from chaos to calm, from need to wholeness. It's not psychology. It's thermodynamics applied to human behavior. When you chase her, you create high pressure. Your need pushing against her space like air trying to escape a compressed chamber. And she instinctively retreats from that pressure, pulls back, creates distance to breathe. But when you're grounded, centered, complete within yourself, you create low pressure, a vacuum. And she finds herself drawn toward it without making a conscious decision to move. She can't articulate why she's suddenly thinking about you, why she's checking if you viewed her story, why she's disappointed when you don't text. Her rational mind has no explanation, but her body knows. Her instincts know. They're reading signals that evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. Signals that separate men who need completion from men who are already complete. Men who require her validation from men who'd be fine without it. You can memorize every dating script ever written. Master every technique. Perfect your approach. Learn exactly what to say and when to say it. But if your energy screams, "I'm incomplete without you," her biology will reject you. Every single time. Because she's not looking for another person who needs something from her. She's looking for someone who needs nothing but chooses her anyway. There's a universe of difference between those two positions. One comes from scarcity, the other from abundance. One depletes her, the other energizes her. She feels which one you are before you open your mouth. Think about electricity for a moment. It requires two different charges to flow, positive and negative. The difference between them creates current, spark, power. Make both charges identical and nothing happens. The energy dies instantly. No movement, no life, just flatness. Attraction operates on the exact same principle. She brings feminine energy into the interaction. Fluid, emotional, unpredictable, testing. It shifts like water, changes direction without warning, responds to whatever container holds it. For polarity to exist, you must bring something different. Masculine energy that stays grounded when she shifts, steady when she wavers, unmoved by her emotional waves crashing against you. Not cold, not distant, just solid, like bedrock beneath an ocean. But here's where everything falls apart. The moment you start chasing her approval, adjusting yourself to please her, performing to win her validation, you abandon your charge. You leave your pole and try to meet her on hers. Suddenly you're both the same. Two fluids mixing together. No difference. No tension. No electricity. And the attraction dies right there. She doesn't want you to match her energy. She's not looking for someone who feels what she feels when she feels it. Who worries when she worries. Who panics when she panics. She wants you to be the oak tree while she becomes the wind. She wants to blow against something that doesn't bend every time she gusts. Not because she's playing games or testing you for fun. Because her deepest instincts are searching for strength that doesn't require validation to stand tall. Every time you change your plans the moment she suggests something different. Every time you text back within seconds because waiting feels unbearable. Every time you over-explain yourself when she seems slightly upset. Every time you seek reassurance that her feelings haven't changed. You're sending a message straight to her nervous system. I'm not the grounded presence you're looking for. I'm just as uncertain as you feel inside. And uncertainty in you doesn't create attractive mystery. It creates anxiety. Deep, biological anxiety that she can't shake. Because if you're looking to her to tell you that you're enough, who's supposed to tell her that she's safe? Who's the anchor in this relationship if you're both floating? She's testing you and you don't even realize it. Not consciously. Not maliciously. Her feminine nature tests masculine solidity the way waves test rocks. She pushes to see if you'll hold shape. She pulls away to see if you'll chase. She creates drama to see if you'll drown in it or stand above it. When you react, adjust, chase, explain, apologize without reason, you fail these tests. She doesn't respect you less because she's cruel. She respects you less because you showed her that external approval controls your internal state. You gave her a power she never wanted. The power to determine your worth. That responsibility terrifies her. And so she leaves. There's always one in every social circle. You've seen him at parties, at work, in coffee shops. He walks in and something shifts. Conversations pause mid-sentence. Eyes drift toward the door. The room reorganizes itself around his presence without anyone deciding to do it. He's not the most attractive guy there. Not the wealthiest. Not the funniest or the loudest. His clothes aren't remarkable. His jokes aren't legendary. On paper, he shouldn't command this kind of attention. Yet when he speaks, people lean in. When he's silent, they wonder what he's thinking. Women who swore they had a specific type find themselves glancing his direction without meaning to. What does he possess that you don't? Here's the answer that will frustrate you. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What he doesn't possess is what creates the difference. And that distinction changes everything once you understand it. He doesn't carry a need to fill every silence with noise. Doesn't feel the urge to prove his value to strangers. Doesn't experience anxiety about whether people in the room approve of his existence. That absence of need creates presence. Real, undiluted, magnetic presence that most men never develop. Because most men are too busy adding jokes, adding stories, adding accomplishments to conversations, adding value like they're building a resume for human connection. But true magnetism comes from subtraction. It's what remains when you strip away the performance. When you stop managing perceptions. When you quit trying to be interesting and simply exist. Fully. Unapologetically. Without apology or explanation. You've been running the wrong equation your entire life. Society told you attraction is addition. Add more humor. Add more money. Add more availability. Add more compliments. Add more effort. Stack enough value and eventually she'll notice you. But he figured out the opposite truth. Attraction is subtraction. Subtract the neediness. Subtract the performance. Subtract the constant monitoring of how others perceive you. Subtract the desperate desire to be chosen. What remains is pure presence. And presence is rarer than diamonds in a world full of distracted performers staring at phones and rehearsing their next clever line. When you stop managing her perception of you, something unexpected happens. Your attention consolidates. It stops scattering across 100 micro-adjustments designed to win approval. You become singular, focused, grounded in this moment rather than anxious about the next. She feels this immediately. Not in her thoughts but somewhere deeper. Something settles in her nervous system when she's near you. The exhausting mental game of analyzing your interest level goes quiet. Because you're not playing that game with her. You're not asking silent questions that demand her answers. That's when real curiosity takes root. She starts wondering about you. Thinking about you when you're not around. Creating stories about who you might be beneath that calm surface. All because you stopped trying to make her curious. You just became someone worth being curious about. Pay attention to what happens when you stop filling her phone with messages. At first, there's panic in your chest. The voice in your head screams that silence means she'll forget you exist. That some other guy who's texting will win by default. That you need to stay top of mind or lose your chance forever. But watch what actually unfolds. Day 1, nothing happens. She doesn't even notice because she's accustomed to you initiating. You've trained her to expect your name on her screen. Your good morning text. Your how was your day check-in. She takes it for granted like sunrise. Day 2, something subtle shifts beneath her awareness. She picks up her phone out of habit. Scrolls through notifications. Expects to see your name. It's not there. A tiny question mark flickers in her mind, too small to acknowledge. She moves on with her day. Day 3, that question mark grows larger. That's weird, she thinks while getting coffee. He usually texts by now. But she pushes the thought away. Maybe you're busy. Maybe your phone died. She's not worried yet. Just aware. Day 4 brings the first crack in her certainty. She checks Instagram to see if you've been active. You have. Posted a story. Clearly your phone works fine. So why hasn't she heard from you? The question irritates her. She doesn't want to care, but the absence has created a gap where routine used to be. By day 5, you've occupied more mental real estate through your absence than you ever did with constant presence. This isn't manipulation. It's basic human psychology that's been tested for thousands of years. We assign value based on scarcity. We crave what we cannot predict. We pursue what creates uncertainty. When you were constantly available, she had complete information. Total certainty. No mystery left to solve. And without mystery, there's no tension. Without tension, attraction withers and dies. Your silence creates a gap in her reality. And human brains are psychologically wired to fill gaps. We can't help it. Incomplete patterns torture us until we complete them. She starts wondering things she never wondered before. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he genuinely busy, or is he over this? What's he doing right now? Is he talking to someone else? Did I say something that turned him off? Should I text him first? Notice what just happened? The entire dynamic flipped on its axis. She's now occupying the position you used to hold. Seeking. Wondering. Pursuing. Questioning. Not because you manipulated her with games. Because you stopped playing entirely. You withdrew your attention from her and redirected it back toward yourself. That shift in energy flow changed everything between you without a single word being spoken. She's now chasing what disappeared. Here's the final truth they don't want you to know. You were never supposed to chase attraction. You were supposed to embody it. Become it. Live it so completely that pursuing her becomes unnecessary. Every moment you spend strategizing how to win her is a moment stolen from becoming the man who doesn't need strategy. Every technique you memorize creates another layer between you and the raw magnetic authenticity that actually draws her in. The man she can't stop thinking about isn't the one who did everything right. He's the one who stopped caring about right and wrong entirely. So centered in himself that those categories became irrelevant. He moved through the world with one simple operating principle running beneath everything. I am enough exactly as I am. Not as an affirmation he repeats in the mirror to convince himself. As a tested truth he's proven through choosing himself over and over again when it mattered most. When she pulled away, he didn't chase her down the street. He let her go and refocused on his mission. When she tested him with drama, he didn't scramble to prove his worth. He remained unmoved, grounded like a mountain watching clouds pass. When she expressed uncertainty, he didn't launch into convincing arguments. He gave her space to decide while being perfectly okay with either outcome. This is what it means to be the flame. Flames don't chase moths. Don't pursue. Don't convince the darkness to come closer. They simply burn with intensity, and everything around them gets drawn to that light and warmth without a single word being spoken. Your work isn't learning better opening lines or perfect timing formulas. Your work is internal. Building a life so fulfilling that her presence becomes a beautiful addition, not the foundation holding everything up. Developing a relationship with yourself so unshakable that her approval becomes nice but never necessary. When you've truly done this work, something miraculous happens. You stop caring whether she's attracted to you. And the moment you stop caring, she starts feeling it. That unshakable, grounded, complete energy radiating from you. The energy that says, I'm whole with or without you, becomes the most attractive force in human connection. So stop chasing chemistry like you're mixing compounds in a lab. Stop trying to manufacture attraction through effort. Stop performing for her approval like an actor auditioning for a role you think you haven't earned. Instead, build a fire within yourself so bright she can't help but feel its warmth from across the room. Because real attraction was never about what you do to get her. It's about who you become when you finally stop trying. If you're ready to master the deeper layers of attraction, respect, and devotion, subscribe now. The next level is waiting for those willing to transform.